Hey, what's going on, guys? Before we start this dope-ass podcast, here's a word from our sponsors. Hey, guys, this is your boys from Chimera Coffee. Are you tired of drinking dirt water with caffeine?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you hate the taste of gravel mixed with more dirt?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
Well, then we have the thing for you.
What is it?
Chimera Coffee is producing the best coffee infused with nootropics.
Okay.
Do you like that?
I'll like anything that makes my brain work better.
Oh, perfect. If you do, type in the coupon code.
Isn't it Show the Art?
Show the art. Show the art. Save yourself some money, especially if you're broke. Like the guys, Ames and Abe. We out. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? You're listening to the Show the Art podcast. We're your hosts. My name is Ames. Alongside with me is my boy, Abe. Abe, what's going on, man?
I'm good. How are you, Ames?
Good, man. Chilling. Well, who do we got on today, brother?
Today we have Danny Castillo. Danny, how are you, man? Thank you for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm great.
Dude, you sound like you just woke up.
He is wide awake, energized, coffee in his hand, ready to roll.
That's what I need. I need a big cup of coffee.
Little Miss Brown Eyes.
Yeah. We got in last night, but Buckles, the head coach, and I both had the same flight. It was delayed twice.
Oh.
I had A-list. He didn't have A-list, so he had to stick around. So he didn't end up. He missed our training session. He didn't end up getting in till like 10 o'clock.
Oh,
As soon as we're done. Yeah, as soon as we're done with the training session, we wanted to go eat, and then by the time we were done eating and talking and all the good stuff, it was close to 1 o'clock in the morning. Came back, and I don't know. It's fight week's really exhausting, especially for him because I'm not really full-time coaching anymore. I kind of took a step back, but he's full-time coaching, and he had 4 fighters last week with the card in Sacramento, so poor guy's exhausted.
I could imagine.
Oh, man. So what are you doing now for, how's your training? Do you train on a regular basis? Do you train with the fighters on a regular basis? Because you're still coaching them, right?
Right. So, I was the full-time wrestling coach, and then I started to get too much on me. You know, I'm not really fighting right now. Kind of my future of my career is kind of up in limbo. I'm not really sure if I want to keep pursuing fighting.
Okay.
But I own 2 businesses in Sacramento, so I just kind of want to take some time away from that, away from the fight game, and focus on what's really, really paying me right now and paying the bills and keeping that up. I have a couple fitness studios in Sacramento, and
nice.
we're doing great. You know, we're the #1 studio in Sacramento for the last 3 years in a row.
Oh, wow.
Starting to grow, you know, a little bit. So I had to kind of focus on exactly what's paying the bills these days.
Yeah, man.
But for the first 8 months of this year, I was the head wrestling coach, where I was coaching the guys 3 days a week, and then going on these fight trips. And it's more exhausting than actually fighting.
Jeez.
Yeah, that could be crazy, just flying in and out of places, helping guys out left and right. So right now you're stepping back from coaching to but are you still coaching at all there, or you're just not in a full-time position?
Yeah, so I work with a handful of fighters because, I mean, I love all the guys on the team. It's a really close-knit group, but there's a couple fighters that I've worked with and really connected well with, and, you know, they actually wanted me to be. I mean, like Cody is just like, man, I want you there, you know. So, you know, how can I not? You know, the title shot. It's like it's really big for the team. Either if I'm on the coaching staff or not, I'm still a part of the team.
Yeah.
It's still my team. It's the team that I help build. You know, I was probably the second member on Team Alpha Male since, you know, 8-9 years ago, 10 years ago.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, one thing we always hear about Team Alpha Male is that, like, everyone's so close. Everyone's like such a family. That's so important when you're competing and you guys are all like, it's a one-man sport, but it's only one-man sport when you step in the cage. But outside of that, it should be like a family, and that's one of the great things we always hear about Team Alpha Male. Did you guys like plan that from the beginning, like that camaraderie?
Well, Uriah and I have known each other since we're 13 years old. We wrestled on. He wrestled outside of Sacramento. I wrestled in Sacramento, but we were on the same all-star wrestling team for the Sacramento Area Association. So every off season, him and I would be in a 12-passenger van going up and down California wrestling other kids. And then we just remained friends. We were friends all throughout college. He went to Davis. I went to an NAIA school in the Bay Area. After that, I got a desk job. Was kind of bull. Can I cuss on here?
No, absolutely, man. You can do whatever you want.
Okay.
Let loose.
So we're kind of bullshitting on MySpace of all things. I'll tell you the timeline.
Wow.
And then he was like, "Yeah, man, you got to come back and see my new gym." And he had just beat, I believe it was Jeff Corrent. No, it was Chance Favard. Okay. Back in the WC days. And I went and saw the gym. He had a sick gym. He had 3 houses. He was happy. Oof, meanwhile, I was stuck in the office, doing sales and marketing, just miserable, missing competition so much.
Yeah.
And they brought a consultant in, and they kind of changed my commission scale, gave me more money, which didn't work out in my eyes. So I gave him my 2 weeks notice. I moved back home, and the rest is history. I trained in the gym 6 to 8 hours a day for 4 weeks, and then your eyes like, you're ready for a fight.
Damn.
It was really crazy. So the man. 6 weeks of training, I took a fight. I won in the first round. 6 weeks of training, I took a fight. I feel like I was fighting every 6 weeks until I got to the point where I was, let's say it was like 5-0, 5 finishes. And then the WEC came to Sacramento. Uriah was going to fight Jens Pulver, and Richard Crinkleton got hurt. They called me. I was actually at the bar celebrating my 5th win and drinking beers, hanging out with the friends. It was like a Tuesday or Monday. Uriah called me and said they want to offer me a fight. Pounded the pitcher of beer, went home and cut the weight. And next thing you know, I made weight. Ended up losing in the first round to Donald Cowboy Cerrone back then. But that was I think it was 2008, and I think I made $3,000 on the fight, which was on TV, which is crazy now looking back at it. But when I got there, it was just Uriah and Joseph Benavidez, and Joseph Benavidez was working the front desk. In between classes, he was taking out the trash. So to see the growth of the team is just, it's kind of crazy, and it's a great feeling, because we have heavy hitters on the team right now. I mean, Alex Sandoval just fought his 2nd fight in the UFC. Josh Emmett fought his 2nd fight in the UFC, and we've got probably 4 more guys ready to go right now in the UFC.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. And then you got Cody fighting for the belt. You had Uriah with his going away celebration fight,
riding high to the sunset.
And now I want to ask you about that fight real quick. I don't, I hate to change subjects. That was a great story, but do you think the ref should have stopped the fight when Uriah? I get why he didn't stop it when Uriah knocked him down, right? Because he, sometimes the refs want it to be done their way, but when he was pounding on him right after that, I felt the ref should have stopped that. What was your opinion on that?
I mean, it's hard to say with those stoppages. I think the ref, besides the judges have probably one of the most important jobs. Yeah. I mean, there's only a couple of variables in the fight game, and it's the ref, which can hop in at any time, or it's the judge who can make a terrible, terrible decision on the round. So I think because Brad Pickett is such a savage and such a vet, and I think I think it was good to let the fight play out. I mean, don't get me wrong, I hate to see a guy get pounded more than he should. Yeah. But a guy like Brad Pickett's just really tough dude, and I think it wouldn't have been the same, and to see them end the fight there, I mean, it would have been great. but I actually liked it to play out like that because Uriah looked so good, and
He did.
you know, his fight before that, he didn't look as sharp, and then this one he was on point. So
Yeah.
it was great to see one of my mentors, one of my buddies, one of my idols, man. I mean, he was my idols coming into the sport. It's weird to say that about my buddy who I bullshit with all the time, and you know, but you know, it was great to see him do that, and that's what he deserved. One of the things that really pisses me off is he doesn't have a huge name. I mean, he has a huge name, but it's like people don't respect that guy as much as they should. And I know he gets a lot of props and stuff, but if it wasn't for Uriah Faber, there wouldn't be 125, there wouldn't be 135, there wouldn't be 145. Like the WC created that, and I think Zuffa bought the WC because he was such a big star, and they realized that there's guys who are exciting, well-spoken, and you know, like I said, like some of these younger guys that come in the sport, like everyone needs to pay respect to Uriah because he's the one that put it down for all of us.
He did pave the way. Back in the day, WEC, I actually enjoyed the WEC matches more than UFC because every WEC match was very, very exciting. I remember one of the first matches I saw was Cerrone versus Ben Henderson, and after that, I was sold. And I think Uriah was on that.
That's
same
the
card.
first one.
What? Yeah. For me.
He's a late bloomer.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is, when we talk about pioneers
that fight was in Sacramento too.
Well, it probably was.
When we think about pioneers of MMA, you know, Matt Hughes, Chuck Liddell, those names keep getting thrown into the mix. But now that Uriah's retired, I think it's well deserved that his name is thrown in that mix with the likes of Chuck Liddell, Matt Hughes, and we always talk about Stephen Bonner and Forrest Griffin, their match, how that kind of raised awareness to MMA. I think it's only fair that Uriah Faber's name is now implanted into that conversation.
Sure.
No, I mean, no doubt. And it's, you know, in my opinion, he's a lock for the MMA Hall of Fame, the UFC, whatever Hall of Fame we're going to be having. I mean, there's just, I mean, you name me another fighter under 100 and, I mean, not even Aldo really. I mean, Aldo did so much for the sport, but I mean, Aldo doesn't have pretty long hair. He doesn't speak well. He's not good looking. You know, it's like, he did it all, man. And, you know, it's great that him and I are so close and that we continue to push out some of the top fighters in the world. And that's what really excites me.
That absolutely, man. So let's get into it with Cody. How is he looking, man? What do you think is going to happen this weekend?
Cody's a really talented and special athlete. I mean, you know, Team Alpha Male's had some of the best fighters in the world, and you know, I've been able to work with some incredible athletes. So I've seen them my whole life. I've been wrestling for 20 years. There's just those certain individuals on teams where you're just like, how the hell does he do that? Like, it just doesn't make sense. And you're in the room and you're doing plyometrics and you're doing speed drills and you're just trying to get to that level, but some of it's God-given talent, and you know, I feel like Cody's just a real special athlete. I was speaking with somebody yesterday about it, and you know, the likes of Chad Mendes. Chad Mendes is a phenomenal athlete. Like he can jump out of the gym if he wanted to, and really explosive. But it's a little bit different with Cody because he's faster, he's quicker. It's just a different level of athleticism, which I've never seen before.
Nice.
And you know, seeing him last night, he brought in his uncle, who he grew up hitting mitts with his whole life. Seeing them kind of connect and the chemistry between them, and just his hand speed would look even faster than it has this whole camp.
Wow.
It's like I feel like as a coaching staff, as him, we did a great job of having him taper off and not putting too much stress on him. I mean, because one of the things, MMA is so hard. It's not like boxing. There's so many different things you need to do, and what happens with that is that leaves you overtrained. And that was pretty much the story of my career. Every time I went to a fight, you know, I was overtrained, never knew when to pull back. But I think we pulled back at the right time. He's healthy going into the fight. I mean, he's ready to go, and you know, I expect him to have his hand raised and gold around his waist. Well,
I can't wait, man, because he looks super precise. He kind of reminds you like that McGregor type of thing, where he knows where he's going to hit you, and when he lands, man, it's just night, brother.
Yeah, no, I agree, and you know, I'm not a huge fan of Conor, but I respect him, and and it's a different level of accuracy, though.
Yes.
It's a really different level. If you watch the punches that each of them throw, Conor's just kind of like looping around the top. You know, so he hits a lot of people in the back of the head with those long arms, those long punches.
Okay.
Cody's just right on the mark.
Yeah.
Right on the mark.
What do you think will be the determining factor in this fight that will if Cody were to win, what is the determining factor that will allow him to do so? Because, you know, Dominick Cruz he's fought fast guys. He's fought, you know, strong guys. He's fought, you know, so many different types of opponents. What will be Cody's edge in this fight?
See, I don't think he's fought anyone like Cody, even though he's fought everyone in the world. And he's that's another guy that I respect a lot. And, you know, he's been at the top of the game for the last 8 years. And, I just don't think anyone on his resume is even similar to Cody in the fact that he's a phenomenal boxer. He has power at 135s, but I mean, there's other things to his game also. Like, he's a great wrestler. Like, not that many people know that he won high school state as a freshman and took second as a sophomore, and then took the rest of the time off and didn't want to wrestle anymore. Like, that's crazy. Ohio is one of the biggest wrestling states in America besides California, you know, and so for him to be able to do that kind of shows what kind of the athlete and how special he is.
Yeah.
I think, you know, it comes down to sticking to the game plan, which obviously I'm not going to reveal on the podcast, but is him being patient.
Okay.
Is him being patient. And the thing is like, you know, he's already patient. He knows how to fight. Like, I rarely say this about people, but he was a born fighter. Like, I don't think there's anything else on this planet that he was put on this planet to do besides fight.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah, it's crazy because Dominick is not just like he's not a cookie cutter fighter. He's literally different than everybody else. And he's heavily defensive. So yeah, I could see how, like you said, being patient is one of the number one things. I think I've heard a lot about his wrestling over the past couple weeks since the fight is being promoted, and I truly feel that a good wrestling base and a heavy like wrestling attack could be something that can exploit Dominick, because he's not used to getting out wrestled. He's not used to but he's used to dodging bullets. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And combine.
I definitely agree.
Sorry. Yeah. No. And I was gonna say, combining that with mixing up the strikes and keeping them guessing with the takedowns, that's where you catch guys. It's the trickery involved. That's what he's good at. So I'm really curious to see what happens, because every fighter is like, I'm different than everybody else. So we need to see them prove it. And I feel like Cody is a guy that can prove it for sure.
Absolutely.
Especially after talking to you now.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I had so much respect for Dominick Cruz. I mean, do I like him? That's up in the air. I mean, I used to like the guy who won the WC, but I mean, he's fought a couple of my teammates, so I don't know. He's not the same towards me, so I'm just like, fuck him. Yeah, you know, like,
sure.
I don't really care. But I don't know. I think that he's definitely getting older.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's a little bit slower. And, you know, again, he's got great wrestling too, but does he use it? He doesn't really use it too much.
No.
And when you're dealing like an explosive, fast, quick athlete like Cody, it's almost hard to lock down a takedown with him, because as soon as they pop to the ground, they pop right back up.
Yeah.
Sure.
So similar to Chad Mendes, like, that guy never gets taken down. Every time he gets to the ground, he pops right back up.
Yeah.
Similar to Jose Aldo, who's not a wrestler, but I'm talking about the level of athleticism that you can see in all three of them, in different ways.
Sure.
But you know, I watched him bet it, and they showed him doing a ton of wrestling. So maybe he'll come out and do some wrestling. But we'll be prepared for his wrestling. That's for sure.
Sure. And
you know, I think that's something that we're definitely, you know, better than him at.
Yeah. I always
are we better than him at moving his feet, moving his head? Probably not. You know, I mean, Dominick Cruz is the best in the game, but the difference between Cody and Cruz is when you miss on Cody, you pay dearly for it.
Yeah.
When you miss on Cruz, he's halfway across the ring dancing around, and you know, there's not really too much. He didn't really take too much advantage of Cody. I mean, not Cody, but TJ missing a bunch.
Yes.
True. I mean, in fact, I thought TJ won the fight. I've watched it a few times. I still think TJ won that fight.
Yeah, that was a very close fight. I was gonna say Dominick Cruz is very much, and I'm not putting him down for this, but he's very much like a points fighter. Like when he wrestles, he's wrestling you for those points. Like when he tried to take TJ down a couple times, you could tell those were just to throw TJ off, just to maybe score some points in the eyes of the judges, not necessarily to take him down, to keep him down, to submit him, to pass his guard, for anything in particular, but to score points. And like you said, a lot of times he's allowing you, he's willing to play the I'll make you miss game. And maybe hit you with a jab after. Nothing too substantial. He's not a pocket fighter. And Cody is a pocket fighter. And Cody follows. I wanted to ask your opinion. How do you see the direction of him fighting Dominick as opposed to the direction that TJ fought Dominick?
Well, I think TJ's an emotional fighter, and he let his emotions get the best of him in the fight. Mm-hmm. So he kind of was a little bit frustrated instead of being patient. And towards the third, I mean, I've seen the fight a shitload of times, but towards the second and third round, he kind of just lost that patience and he went headhunting. And he didn't really set things up too much. But again, man, I mean, TJ's my dude. I like the guy dearly. I really do think that he won, and so I feel like Dominick Cruz is lost already. Mm-hmm. It's not like he's coming into this fight, and I feel like, when you have those close fights and it goes to the judges and you win, you're kind of like, fuck, that one went my way, and I think that's in his head. And, just hearing him talk in his interviews and stuff, and I think that might play a factor in the back of his head. At least I hope it does. Trying to, wonder if he really won that fight or not. I mean, it really fucks with the fighter. Sure.
Do you think that Dominick doing all the UFC interviews in the background, breakdowns and stuff like that, do you think that'll play a factor in his performance on Friday?
In terms of making him better or taking him away from the sport in terms of training, because he's so busy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, because he's so busy, do you think that is taking his mind off of? Because I can imagine you're about to fight someone. You need every ounce of your focus to be on that fight, right? You need every advantage you can get.
No, I don't think so. I think he's been doing it for quite some time. He's used to that. I mean, this isn't the first time. I remember him doing media tours with Faber. Like, I was just like, when are you guys getting to train? You guys are not even training. You guys are always going somewhere, doing some kind of media shit.
Wow.
But true professional, and he's used to that.
Sure.
When you get to a certain level, I mean, he doesn't have to really grind. Mm-hmm. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure he's grinding and stuff. But it's not like when he first came into the sport. Mm-hmm. I mean, he has a solid base. He's one of the best fighters in the world.
I hear.
So I don't think that would necessarily be a factor.
Nice. Yeah, man. We were talking about TJ Dillashaw a while ago. What are your thoughts on his matchup with John Lineker? How do you think that's going to play out?
I think it's gonna be a sick fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, because John stays in the pocket, and TJ likes to move and make people miss, and then capitalize on them missing. That's a very interesting matchup.
Right. I mean, I agree. It's hard to say. I've been a part of this sport for a long time. It's going to go a certain way.
Hello? Can you hear it? Hello?
And so much in terms of being a fighter, in terms of life, in terms of being a better coach. So he has a great coach, Not sure who Lineker's coach is. You know what you're going to get with Lineker. You know, like you said, he's going to stay in the pocket. He's going to come forward.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to eat shots. I mean, the kid's got a fucking chin.
Yeah, for days, man.
The kid's chin is just some of those punches that Dotson was hitting him with. I was like, how's this guy standing up?
Even
he
those
just walked
leg
right
kicks, man. Those leg kicks, especially the one he caught after the first, right before the first round ended.
Yeah.
Caught him real good. He just caught it and just kept walking forward. Like, Jesus Christ, man.
He's just, so we do know that he stays in the pocket. He's got good forward pressure,
Mm-hmm.
and he can take a punch.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to make an interesting fight because TJ, like you said, he's definitely the more.
Hello. Hey, Danny, we can't hear you. Your phone's cutting off.
Hello?
Yeah, the phone was cutting off. We didn't catch that last part.
I would say TJ's definitely the more dynamic striker.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of, I mean, his hips, his hips and leg dexterity is there.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's because I'm in this baller ass suite that Cody got for us. That's too high for satellites to pick it up. But
no, that suite's too good.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
It's too high class for our phone.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Can you hear me now, though? Is that good?
Yeah.
Dude,
no, I can hear you now.
It's probably because you're walking around the gold, like everything. You got to stay away from the gold. And
yeah, everything's bouncing off the gold chalices in here and the gold chairs and table and shit.
Is the toilet made out of solid gold? Please tell me the toilet's solid gold.
It's studded with diamonds around the top also.
That is baller.
Yeah, you got a good excuse then. It's all good.
Nice, man. But yeah, that's pretty cool. How long are you guys staying in that suite for?
Just till the day after the fight.
Okay, and then they kick your ass out. So like, you got to go, man.
Yeah, yeah, it's a trip because I mean, Team Alpha Male always has big fights coming up. So
You do.
Sometimes, so like I said, sometimes we're out here for a big fight, and it's 3 of us in one room, and then sometimes we have 4 rooms because some guy's fighting for a big fight.
That's crazy, man.
And the coaching staff, we've been doing this for quite some time. In fact, we all fought together.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
How many people
And
are
the
you?
guys?
Oh, my bad.
I feel like that's the difference between why we're able to put out so many high-level fighters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of these guys Cody was already really talented. I mean, he came to the team. He worked out with the team for a year or 2.
Yeah.
And then there you go. That's where he's at.
Nice, man.
But right out here tonight, I mean, for this fight trip, we got the head of some buckles, me, myself, and then we have Chris Holdsworth, who is actually en route on his way here now.
Okay.
And then Cody's uncle, his boxing coach for his whole life, Bob, call him Stingray.
Nice.
He is, he's out here also. So
nice.
We got a talented group. We're ready to get that strap. So it's really exciting, man. And it's always a great time. It's really an exhausting time as well.
Mm-hmm. What do the front desk people say when you got like a guy like Cody he's all tatted up, and then like his posse behind them saying they're professional fighters and they want the baller suite? Like, what's the look on their face?
Well, it's like it's all taken care of. We just show up,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I feel like tattoos are more accepted today. So I don't
Definitely they are.
any differently.
But no doubt Cody looks like a guy that you don't want to fuck with. Like
and no, I agree. But he's a good-looking kid too, so it's like he's got the best of both worlds.
He got it all, man. It's kind of unfair to everyone like us or like me and
Oh,
Abe.
what the fuck?
We got the short end of the
hell?
stick.
Yeah. What's it?
Hey, Danny, is there any other upcoming fighters that we should be looking out for in Team Alpha Male?
Shit, that's in the UFC now, or that are potentially on the horizon for
like the
UFC?
prospect. Who are the prospects right now that you guys have that we should be keeping an eye on?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, Lance Palmer, I believe, should be in the UFC, and he's not there. He's the champion for WSOF.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a kid named Eric Sanchez who fights for that. They have a new Hispanic league called Combates.
Okay.
Not sure if you guys heard of that.
Yeah, isn't it on UFC Fight Pass?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I've seen a couple.
He's probably, I don't know. I got, you kind of get these relationships with the guys on the team, so I kind of have a sweet spot in my heart because I know he works so goddamn hard, and I know how hard it is to get here.
Sure.
But I mean, the great Burt Watson used to say it's a lot harder to stay here than it is to get here, which is true in some aspects. But right now, it's just so hard to get in. Like I feel like he can beat a bunch of guys in the UFC right now.
Nice.
But he's just staying patient, waiting for his fights, and I think that's one of the guys that I'm most excited to see at the next level.
I'll take it, man. Because eventually, if he keeps winning, there's no way UFC can deny him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, in theory.
In theory, yeah. But there's a lot of fighters out there, and I know a couple from around here, from New Jersey. Like one particular guy, Andy Main. He was on the Ultimate Fighter show years ago. He's been winning fights impressively. He won the King of Pancrase title. And they still just won't. He's been campaigning for the UFC, and they still just won't address him. So there's so many different factors, right? Like it's weird how some people get in and some people don't.
No, I agree, and I think that's one of the cool things about being part of our team.
True.
Not necessarily I mean, they know that we have talented fighters, and we're bringing talented fighters on every day. So it's like, who are they going to take? What's his name, Andy Main?
Yeah.
Who are they going to take? Andy Main, who's won a couple fights at Pancrase champion, or Uriah Faber's training partner?
Yeah, exactly.
That makes a lot of
sense. Yeah, no, of course. It's you need to have connections. You need to have. Plus, it makes sense. Like, hey, we trust this system over here, this alpha male system. I think. Like, not just from the fighting standpoint, but, all you guys have been in the limelight, doing the media tours. You guys can help out new fighters with that stuff beyond the fight. So it makes sense that they would go for the big teams first, right?
Right. And, I was saying could be said about myself, too. I mean, do I think I've been in the UFC without Uriah Faber? Yeah, I mean, I think I would have, but will I ever know? Probably not.
Yeah.
Did I get hooked up? I feel like I got hooked up. Uriah was on the card. I mean, of course, I had to fight, 8 fights in the WC. I had to win my last fight to get that UFC contract. But who trains for 7 months and then get to fight on TV against Cowboy Cerrone?
True.
Like that doesn't fucking. It's not like I fought for like a couple Gladiator Challenge. I mean, I believe the biggest promotion I fought going in was the Tachi Palace. I don't even know what it's called now, but that's a big feature to the UFC as well. But I'm not stuck on myself to the point where I'm like, yeah, I did this all myself. No, I had some help along the way, and I had good faith, and I was trying to do good positive things, and good positive things happen to get the positive people.
True.
For sure, man.
Yeah, man.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with getting a hookup, with getting some help. Like a lot of these young guys, they don't want any help. No, take the help. The help will help you. The help will. You need these positive people around you. Who's your pick? Ronda Rousey, Amanda Nunes. What's going on? What's this fight? What's going to happen in this fight?
Last but not least.
I've been going back and forth, and people have been asking me all that, and I'm going to say Amanda, because she throws a 1-2 straight down the pipe better than most dudes.
Yeah.
So, it kind of got a little bit hairy with Ronda when Holly was throwing at her. It just depends on what happened in that off season. I know she had a bunch of different. Yeah, I try not to play into all that popular media shit about Ronda being sad and like she she was on Oprah or Ellen, I don't know, one of those big name shows where she's talking about killing herself, all that stuff. Like that's, if those are thoughts in your head, I'm not sure you're mentally stable enough to, to come back. I just don't know. I know that the mind plays a huge factor in this fight game, and that's another reason why I think Cody's gonna win, because he's a fucking crazy sick fuck.
Yeah.
And there's no quitting him. There's no him possibly losing or anything. It's like, this is what's going to happen, and that's what's going to happen on Friday night.
Yeah.
For Ronda, I feel like she was questioning herself. Amanda kind of took it to everyone she's fought.
Yep.
So it's like, can she stop the takedown? That's one of the things that's going to be a huge factor in it. And I think she comes from a great team. Not that Ronda doesn't have. Well, I don't know who Ronda's team is.
Yeah.
I remember she had like the three horsemen or some shit like that.
Horsewoman. Yeah.
I don't know who, but I mean, her boxing coach is supposedly a great boxing coach.
Yeah.
Don't really know too much about him. I mean, a boxing coach is great, but we're fighting MMA, so
exactly.
It's a completely different ball game.
Yeah.
I'm picking Amanda to win. She trains with American Top Team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's training with some
yeah,
killers,
that's
man.
fucking. Yeah. I mean, you just look at the big teams in the world right now, and American Top Team's been like, American Top Team's been at the top of the game ever since MMA started. So there's there's a vast amount of knowledge, MMA knowledge in that, and then not in the fact of that, but she has incredible workout partners, even if they're not females.
Yeah.
We have a girl on the team named Cynthia, and that's probably Eric Sanchez and Cynthia is probably, what's Cynthia's last name? Calvillo. She's probably, those two guys are probably the next. I'm hoping they'll be the next in the UFC, because Cynthia she puts it on some of the dudes in there, which is crazy, and she's working out with dudes. And I'm not saying that you have to work out dudes to be successful, but it's a different level of skill. And if she's able to, hold her own against some of the smaller guys in our gym, then she's going to be ready to beat up any dude in the world.
Nice.
Any girl in the world, I feel like. So, I mean, I think the team plays a huge part.
Yeah, man.
There's a bunch of different things, where her head's at, like her boyfriend's Travis Brown, he lost. Like, I don't know, all that plays factors.
Yeah.
And I think Amanda's going to do it.
I'm looking at it from all factors too. Like, all the roads kind of point to Amanda winning this. Yep. But then I also want to take into account, let's say Ronda didn't lose and this fight was going to happen a year and a half ago. Imagine Holly Holm, wasn't fighting Ronda and it was Amanda Nunes. Do I think Amanda won that fight against Ronda before Ronda lost? I still believe that Amanda is the type of fighter that can crack a Ronda Rousey type fighter. So even before she lost, I still feel like Amanda has the edge when we're talking about skill and fighting.
She fought Miesha Tate at 200.
Yeah. She put the beat down.
She put a whooping.
Those 1-2s she was throwing down the pipe were, like I said, better than some of the guys. She hits hard, man. And Miesha's not. Miesha's tough.
Yeah.
Misha's tough. She can take a punch. She can take a beating, but
she comes back from fights too. Not against Amanda though.
And Amanda, I was gonna say, you could see the power when somebody throws punches. When they whip them out, you see that hip turn. You see their shoulders turn. Like, some people, you just see the power oozing out of them as they throw that 1-2, like you said. And Amanda, like, usually for women, you don't see that. With her, you don't even have to feel it. You see that fucking power, man. Holy crap. Yeah. So we'll see, man. It's going to be an interesting fight. I also think Ronda's really good at fighting people when they, like, get shy away, when they're not sure of themselves, when they fight and they get nervous. I don't think Amanda's...
she's the alpha male in that cage. She's great. She's great when everyone's scared from her and scared of the takedown. All of a sudden, she's like, you can kind of see her energy kind of boost up a little bit, and she's more aggressive and she's more confident. But I doubt that's going to be the same look on
with
Friday.
Amanda. Yeah.
On that note, we just want to say thank you, Danny, for jumping on with us. Before we let you out, do you want to give a shout out, or if people want to contact you, where can everyone reach you at?
I mean, all the social medias. I mean, probably the best bet. Twitter and Instagram is at Last Call 155, and then I just got on Snapchat too, so that's a little bit fun as well. So, I mean, I highly doubt there's a ton of hot chicks listening to the show right now, but if there is, snap me. Just kidding.
No.
Kidding, not kidding.
He's kidding, but I want you girls to do it.
Yeah.
Please.
So any of you listening.
Yeah.
And if how about your fitness studio? If anyone's around that area wants to check it out, where can they go?
Yeah, it's well, we have 2 locations in the Sacramento area, but our headquarters is downtown on P Street, but it's P20 Hot Pilates and Fitness.
Okay.
I'm moving at this 3,000 square foot gym to a 12,000 square foot gym in March, so we're breaking ground on construction. Hopefully in a couple of weeks when the permits get back, and then we should be up and running sometime in March, and that's going to be a game changer for me because the majority of our clientele is female.
Okay.
Not that so we're like 91% female. Not that I'm complaining or anything, but with the new studio, I'll have my own little box on the side, so we'll have more of a manly feel. I'll be running some kickboxing classes, some boxing classes, but and we'll be able to cater to everyone, not just females.
Nice, man.
That's great, man. Well, once again, thank you for coming on. We really appreciate you coming on and giving us, all your feedback on the fights.
Insight.
And, I hope to talk to you soon, brother.
Yeah, for sure, man. You got the number. Just hit me up anytime.
For sure, brother. And good luck to Cody. Good luck to your team.
Get that chip, baby.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
For sure, man. All right, man. Talk to you soon.
Take care.
All right, take care.
Peace. Hey, if you enjoyed that interview with my main man, Danny Last Call Castillo, make sure you like, subscribe, rate, share, all that good stuff, guys. It goes a long way. We keep saying it, but it really does help out. It helps us make our day.
It really helps make our day,
It does, man. It motivates us and inspires us to keep putting out stuff for you guys.
Yeah.
So,
especially Ames. He doesn't have much to live for.
Yeah, man. My self-esteem is
very low.
So if you want to help me out, just like it. Just a tip.
Just write
a tip.
Just write a really nice review. Say, Ames.
Yeah, like
keep on
Ames,
keeping
you're the
on.
dopest dude, man.
Yeah.
You're way more talented than Abe. Fact. Hashtag keep working. Hashtag keep grinding.
Exactly.
Hashtag Abe's ass.
If that makes you feel better to write that kind of gibberish, that rubbish, that egregious thought, then write it.
Gibberish. Yeah. We're out, guys. We hope you enjoyed it. Peace.